So, Charles Fillmore says, it has been found by experience that a person increases their blessing by being grateful for what they have and remembering that each and every day. So as you know, this whole month, as I said, is all about gratitude. It's about being grateful and coming from that place of your heart of truly being grateful, of remembering that we are the gift and that each individual soul that we meet, we share our love and our wisdom, we share our friendship. And sometimes we break bread. Sometimes we pay it forward to the person behind us. When I was online this week, there was an article that came out from one of my friends in California. As you've been aware, there was a big fire there again. And there were some friends that lost their homes and were evacuated. And you know, and it's a time like that we don't even think when a tragedy is happening. What would you take with you? What treasures would you take with you? Would it be your family pictures? Would it be clothing? Would it be maybe water? There's so many things that we don't even think about at the time of a tragedy. And when I was reading that, she was standing in line at a restaurant, and there was probably maybe 10 or 12 firefighters behind her. And she said to the girl, I want to pay for each firefighter and say thank you for their outstanding gift that they give the universe because they put out the fires. And I thought about that, and she didn't wave an eye. I don't even know how much the bill was, but that's not the point. The point that she was paying it forward and saying thank you for your service, and not just taking it for granted. Sometimes we take things for granted because we've been doing things the same way all the way, and you know I've been warning you that there would be a change in November, kind of preparing you, so when you walked in, it wouldn't be a total shock. This is something that I incorporated. Well, it was a gift that came from another minister, and I brought that to my last church. And it was so empowering because each candle represents a healing. Each candle represents maybe somebody we know now or somebody that has passed, somebody that maybe you had a kind of a sharp tone to. Sometimes I'm sharp. I'll say something to somebody and they'll go, you're hollering at me, you're mad at me. And I think, no, I'm not. But I don't realize because I wear hearing aids, sometimes my voice gets a little loud. So if I ever do that, just know I'm not offending you. But each candle is sacred. And when we put the healing candle, that represents what you used to do on coming forward and lighting a candle. So it's just done in a different way, but we can do this every single moment of the day. When we're driving here, when we're at home, every time the phone rings, I say, God is calling me. Think about that. If you thought about that every time you picked up a phone, there could be a telemarketer, and we have a lot of them call us, thank you for calling, you put it down. But our whole energy shifts within us when we do that. So it's coming from that place of being in gratitude. And gratitude changes lives in a big way. Because when we appreciate, it multiplies. And when we can give thanks and appreciation, it opens up that creative space for more goodness to come in, to rushing in. When you're shopping, and this I found just incredibly wonderful about Washington. People talk to you. They don't just sit there and ring up and take your money. Hi, how are you today? How is everything going? I think that's wonderful, when we do that. And I'll be talking my talk today. I was thinking about it. In California, we have to bring our own bags in when we go shopping. Think about that. Maybe take your own bag when you go shopping. Save a tree. Tell them no thank you. They've almost completely cleared a lot of the plastic in California. And I thought, I'd like to bring that to Washington. Wouldn't it be wonderful we had paper straws instead of plastic? And I was thinking, there was an article that for the water bottles, I think they were using bamboo or something in another country. And I thought, how does that keep the water in? But different things that we could do in a great way to save planet Earth. Because there's so much waste going on, so much waste going on. So I'm grateful in so many ways that I'm aware of that. Somebody brought that to my attention. William Ward says, gratitude can transform common days into thanksgiving, turn routine jobs into joy, and change ordinary opportunities into a blessing. Think about that. How do you show up in the world? If you have a job, do you go in there and say, thank you, God, that I have a job? Thank you for my good health. Thank you for the clothes on my back. Thank you for good water. Sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we don't think about it. So it's just a way of reminding ourselves that there's so many things to be grateful for. A grateful heart paves the way to a magnificent life. A grateful heart creates the space for unlimited opportunities to rush through when we least expect it. When we acknowledge something in our lives with appreciation, we are heightened our awareness of where things are working well. It then puts us in a state to receive even more. It opens us up to accept all the good that is present in our life. Before I get up every morning, I lay in bed and I think, thank you, God, for another day. Show me what I need to do today. What heart do I need to touch? And then I get up and I go to my shower and whatever. And I'm thanking, as I'm going, thank you for the toothpaste. Thank you for the toilet paper. Thank you for the water. Thank you for my cup of tea that I love so much. So many little things that we do normally every single day, that if we come from that place, it brings more joy to your heart, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It gives you really purpose to really embrace love. There was a story that when I was thinking about gratitude that crossed my mind. When I was at the Westlake Church, there was a time that we needed chairs. And I'm a giver, the time I wasn't a big giver, but I was a giver. I gave what I thought I could afford. And the minister said, we need new chairs. So anybody that's giving 10%, give 15. And I went, woo. If you're giving $10, give 20. If you're giving 5, give 10. And up the ante type thing. And I was like, oh my God, how can I do that? Okay, I got a paycheck and got to pay this. And I'm like, a million things were going through my mind. So I went home that night and I started going through where I was spending my money. I was buying about 6 cups of Starbucks coffee, tea every week, and then I was going out to lunch with girlfriends more often, and I was like, ooh, well, I guess maybe I could cut down on buying Starbucks coffee, and maybe I'll make my tea at home and bring it with me. So I thought, oh, well, there's like $30, $40. Oh, well, maybe I won't go out as much as, $30 every time I go to lunch. So I started looking at it and thought, okay, I can give more. But the amazing thing that happened for me was I had more money coming in than I could imagine. I would go out to lunch and say, oh no, Linda, I'll get it this time. Well, I just saved me $20. I was in Starbucks, and at the time somebody behind me in front of me bought my tea. So there's different ways that when you start opening your consciousness, how things can really manifest. But it taught me the best lesson of all. Everything I need, I have. God always has my back. God always takes care of me when I don't think I can for myself. So it's just a way of my beginning journey of giving more. So now whenever I have money coming in, 10% right off the top goes right to the church. And I also support other organizations. But it's a way of coming from that grateful heart and paving the way for magnificent things to open up in our life. There's also a saying, what you sow is what you reap. And I said, I want prosperity. I want to be rich. I want to feel good. And the more I do that, the more it comes back to me. knowing that what I'm thinking is manifesting in my life. So I think healthy thoughts. My body is healthy. Everything that is functioning according to where it's supposed to in my body. And sometimes when it's not functioning right, oh well, tomorrow's a better day. So it's treating ourselves with kindness and love and appreciating more than anything. So I have an invitation for you this month. There's a little gift in it. There are some gratitude books on the table, and I invite you to take them when you join us for cake and dessert, and dessert. So I invite you to take time each day and find what you're grateful for. Write it in the book. Write it down. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3. And dedicate yourself to doing that for 30 days. And I'm telling you, at the end of 30 days, your feet won't even touch the ground. You'll be so high in spirit. You'll feel so wonderful about life that when something doesn't go well, you'll say, it's okay. I can handle this. God has got my back. I started this a long time ago, and I already started my book on the 1st of November. But it reminds us how special we are. It reminds us how great we are as individuals. It reminds us what more we can do, how much we appreciate. I talk to my sister on a regular basis, and she's so funny. She always, she sees me and everything. She says, tell that girl to put closed-toe shoes on. She's wearing open-toe shoes. She's in Washington. And I said, oh, that's okay. And, so I like open-toe shoes. I don't like them all tight and crunched in. But she's so funny. She'll always comment, fix your hair. Oh, I like that hairdo. Keep it that way. And we go back and forth. And her birthday was this week. And her office employees, they decorated her whole office. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I said, aha, you're catching up to me, little sis. You're almost there. She said, no, I'll never be as old as you. So, but it's the little things going back and forth that we can laugh about. So please take a journal and write things down. And you'll be blessed beyond in such a profound way. There's so much to think about when you open that door in your consciousness. I find I'm not so cranky anymore. I find I'm less complaining. I find that I look at life differently. I look at life in a greater and a grander way. So as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. John F. Kennedy. There are several quotes that I like. Some of my favorite sayings about gratitude and being thankful are, gratitude fills the heart with happiness to be passed on to another. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs forth from the soul. It's deep. It's important to know and remember that while we can easily say that we are thankful, we truly enlighten the world when we show it. Being thankful daily for all you have is a blessing. To speak gratitude is courteous and pleasant. To enact gratitude is generous and noble. But to live gratitude is to touch heaven. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that saying. Another one was, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, and confusion into clarity. It turns problems into gifts, failures into success, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. God gave you 86,400 seconds today. Use one and say thank you. Use one and say thank you. Albert Schwartz says, at times our own light goes out and it is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude for those who have lit the flame within us. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. Let us all be thankful. That's from the Buddha. So you've heard me talk about gratitude. I hope that it's touched your heart in some way. I hope that you will carry that thought with you through the week. And when you get a little bit upset, say, what am I grateful for? How can I turn this thought around? And in seconds, it'll turn around. Because you're not dwelling on something negative, you're dwelling on something positive. What brings more joy into your life? You'll live a lot longer. Health-wise, they say if you smile and laugh at least once a day, it gives you a longer life. So I encourage you this week to be that person, to show up in life, to pass your joy and your love on to somebody else, and to remember that wherever you go, God is with you always. So peace be with you. Remember, love only. Forgive everything. And remember who you are. Namaste. So thank you for being here today. And special music?